Hi there, I'm Patrick and welcome to another episode of Club Chatter right here on Hoohaa Sports. And this time we are joining the Arsenal-Malaysia guys. We have Hafiz, Amri and also Bart here with me. Welcome guys. Good win after the weekend, I guess.
Yes, it's a perfect weekend for us.
Okay.
Basically, we really need a win that bad because after strings of bad results and only one from the previous 8 games, right? So we really need it, and beating Manchester United in any conditions is always good for us.
And of course, it was very nice for the other team that was watching that was not actually playing, and that was pretty much Chelsea, because you've pretty much helped the rest of the Premier League season to have it quite wide open and going down to the penultimate couple of games of the season. We're looking at some tweets on the Facebook page, comments on the Arsenal official Facebook page, and we got one here from Haji Abdul Rahim, and says it's always nice to see when Arsenal beat Man United, especially with the young boys. So, Bart, can you tell us how do you feel beating United on that night?
Oh, it feels like we are win a Premier League, Premier League Cup. It's good to win back.
Okay.
Especially beat Man U lah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we've got the
Yes.
statistician guy, his name is Hafiz. Now Hafiz here. Now we also have to look at the rate. Further down his comments, he also talks about not finishing up games, especially in the last lap of the Premier League season. So what do you think was different with Arsenal this time, with United, with their past 7-8 games? Because I almost thought of coming here and giving you guys crayons because you like to draw all the time.
Okay. Okay. I will just say about the focus of the 90 minutes. So this season we like between 90 minutes we not keep on focus. Mostly in last 10 minutes or second half. We can see we dropped 4 goals between Newcastle, and then we have a chance against Sunderland and Spurs 2 games. We're not going too far, so we can say the focus on the mentality of the player makes this problem happen.
All right. So of course the problems of the players and the managers of course also leads back to a topic that we'll talk about a bit later. But let's look at Arsenal's chances for the title. They put it wide open. Mathematically you're still there. If you can see this website page, it gives you the permutation, what Arsenal needs to do, what Man United needs to do, what Chelsea needs to do. So Amri, do you think they're still in it and they can win it?
Mathematically, yes, but to be perfectly honest with you, Patrick, I think I would love for us to basically finish the season ahead of Man U. I think Chelsea might take the title at the end, and it's always. I don't want to have any false hope here, but I think it's better if we aim a little bit lower than what we're supposed to, and then if we finish clinching the title at the end of the season, then it will be fantastic. But
I mean, you're becoming like a Spurs fan already, so always hoping for something, but nothing happens. But it's a repeat of every other season of late. It's just the last bit of the season where you had games in hand, you had opponents that you could have easily beaten at any given Sunday, but
at the end of the day, this is the Arsenal team we are talking about.
Okay.
Because when they have a chance to basically take over Manchester United, if we win like 3 out of the 7 draw games, we will be ahead of Manchester United by now. But talking about this Arsenal team with the current crops of players, I think we better play it safe and then maintain our level ahead of this. Right?
Cautious optimism with the Arsenal fans, and that pretty much ends up their sentiments throughout the first part of the segment where we talked about how they felt over the weekend's result. But let's move on to the back room of what's seen and heard. And as you can look through any Arsenal page, any Arsenal blog, whether official or not, everything is about Arsene Wenger. Should he stay or should he go? That's our second segment, and let's get your opinion on that quickly now. Should he stay or should he go back?
Stay.
Stay.
Yes.
Amri?
Yeah, stay. Nobody can replace him.
Okay, and what about you, Hafiz?
Yeah, stay. This is his project.
This is his project. 7 years, no trophy. Let's find out on the Facebook page. We've got Tae Chin Hui, who also talks about wishing for next season that they'll stick with the youth policy and they will do something different. But then there's somebody else below him, which I can't pronounce his name, says that Wenger is the professor. So, but if he has to stay, why should he stay? One reason.
No, because I think what he does right now is very good, because he beat a young player So we are beating Manchester United with a young player. Average is 20 years old.
Okay.
So it's a good achievement actually.
Okay.
Even we were not won the title, but it's we can see the progress of the Arsene Wenger project lah.
Okay.
So he should stay.
All right, Hafiz, what about you? Now, I need to ask you about the mentality of the players. You know, we talk about having the focus and all that. Now, that has partly to do with the backroom staff who actually train the players, make them watch games. But it's still the 11 that go on the pitch and they have to deliver what the coaching staff have trained them for, right?
Okay. When we talk about the mentality or that, mostly we need some of the player to speak. Okay, let's say the one or two player lost the focus. So 1 or 3 player or something that can motivate the player. So keep on focus.
So you need a strong player to, like somewhere in midfield or in defense to bring some seniority to the team.
You can say seniority, and then maybe this player around the average same player, so they can speak. They have the freedom to speak.
Same
so,
wavelength, same mentality kind of thing,
So
same way of playing football.
Yeah, correct.
Same football talk lah, you know, they talk about the same stuff. But then there's this thing about the new owners getting bigger stake and all that. Do you think with a new owner at Arsenal, it'll become something like Chelsea where they will change the manager until they get trophies? Is there a concern for that?
Basically, as long as Wenger is still around as the manager, I think he won't even change the policy, because every season we heard the owner keep on saying that they have like a 50 million pounds of transfer kitty where he can buy whatever player that he wants. But the same stories every season as well. He just buy the player that he need, that he sees suitable for the teams, and that's it. So even with the new owner with a lot of money, if Wenger doesn't want to spend any of that money, then I don't think it's going to change.
But they have leaps and bounds in terms of depth in squad, in the youth policy, not in terms of experienced players playing the Premier League week in, week out, and also cup competitions.
Yeah.
Now, if there's anything needs to be changed, now the Arsenal fans have spoken that he wants Wenger to stay. So, if there's one thing that needs to be changed next season, what would it be? But
I think the players' mentality.
okay.
The coach need to focus on the players' mentality, then build up their self-confidence, the young players. That means even they are young, but they can still beat the veterans players. So I think need to do on the mentality lah.
You got anything to add on to that, Amri?
The current crops of players, if they play their full potential and then they are really determined on the field and they have the mentality, like Bud says, if we go out to win it, we can beat anyone in the world. Any team in the world, even the current crop of Barca players doesn't stand a chance if our player basically go all out. That's all we need, because they have the talent, they have the skill, they have the organizations, and basically the only thing missing is the mentality.
And hopefully during the off-season they can spend some time with Lionel Messi back in Spain, and probably they can learn some of his tricks and what he brings to the pitch. Okay, we're going to take a quick break and we'll come back with the Arsenal fans right here, and we'll talk more when we go home and away and talk about the other clubs right here on Club Chatter.
What a goal! Here you go. He's missed.
Right, we're back here on Club Chatter on Hoohaa Sports together with the Arsenal-Malaysia guys. We got Bart, Amri and also Hafiz. And in this segment, before we talk about the weekend's matchups, we're going to be going on home and away where we look over the fence and talk about the other clubs. Let's start off with Manchester United. Of course, you're fresh from beating them.
Yep.
But what I want to ask about United's season with you guys is, now, I think this is one of the worst seasons that I've seen Man United play. But they still ink out results. What does the Arsenal fans have to say about the way United have gone on their season?
Okay, we look at the previous season, or we can see the menu or other team mostly not perform. Even now the latest point is still 73. Okay, compared to other season now maybe 78 or 80. So we can see between the top team and the bottom team, we can see the difference between the quality of the team in the Premier League is become higher. So we can say any team can drop point. No matter you are on the top or in the bottom.
Because sometimes teams are also like fighting for relegation now, so it'll be quite difficult for United to play Blackburn and Blackpool because they are fighting to stay in the Premier League. But that's the question now I want to ask. Can United, especially this United squad, handle the pressure of what's happening to the Premier League over the last 3 games?
I think it's down to the 2 old guys in the United
So
team.
they're still looking at their veterans again.
Of course, because the United teams is a different kind of teams when Ryan Giggs is playing, because he can keep his cool and then he can keep his head down. Basically, once Ryan Giggs get into the squad, the whole squad change. So I think it's going to be down to the 2 guys to keep their emotions, and basically they can basically drive the teams forward. But I do hope they get injured at some points.
Every United player will want to get injured because the Arsenal fans hope it will be that way. But let's look over to the other side of the occasion, because momentarily your London friends are putting their hands over your shoulders. We look at Chelsea. Let's talk about the player that has scored the most expensive goal in the Premier League this season. It's worth £50 million for playing 900 minutes, Hafiz?
Yeah,
Fernando Torres.
10 game.
Okay, what do you think of Chelsea's season? Out of the blue, I mean,
Okay.
the final third of the season, they were like nowhere, no title chances, and now they could actually take it.
Okay, we can say if you refer to the Torres, you can say the different play between the Liverpool and then the Chelsea.
The Chelsea.
Okay, with the Chelsea, he need to find more ball, not like in Liverpool when the Gerrard with the partner with Gerrard. So we can say he don't get the best partner, even with Drogba or Anelka.
Okay.
So maybe I think for the next transfer, maybe Abramovich will come down to the transfer window.
And Salimov again.
Yeah,
Okay,
maybe.
but then let's talk about Abramovich, because I want to ask Bart, because will Abramovich also change a manager until he lands the Champions League? Is he that kind of an owner?
I think yes. Of course, we already see a few seasons before this, right?
Yeah.
So before go seeding, right?
Yeah.
Before this, just a
Then
temporary.
you got your Scolari, Sukene,
Yes.
and all that, Avram Grant.
Yeah, I think maybe next year, maybe the Abramovich will give a chance first
Okay.
to but Ancelotti.
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, you see, we really keep forgetting everybody's names anyway.
Because he's Italian.
We'll see what happens there. Now, we don't have enough time, but let's quickly talk about the other equation, Liverpool and Spurs. Once again, we don't have enough time. Amri, I know you want to talk about Spurs. Go ahead.
Basically, all I want from Spurs is they won't play in the Champions League ever again. That's it. Don't spoil
I
the
have
top
to hear
4.
this, okay?
Sorry, Patrick, but you have to, because
I know, it's part of the job, it's okay.
And I do hope Liverpool finish on top of them. Spurs will never goes into the Champions League and spoil it again. Because
Okay.
I think it's a beautiful league before this, and then Spurs completely destroys it.
Of course, I just want to say one thing before we move on to the next team, that there's only one North London team now after you move to the Emirates. But let's look at Manchester City. Now, there are a lot of players bought for exorbitant prices, but if Mancini gets another execution of stay for another season and he streamlines his squad, would Manchester City be a threat next season, Hafiz?
Possibility, yes. Before this, maybe the top player, let's say they try to approach the star player, but they didn't come because the top 4. So maybe if Man City in the top 4 for this season, and so I think maybe City will be threats for next season.
Yeah.
Possibility, yes.
And it looks like if City have that kind of squad and United are looking like offloading 8 players in the off-season, there's going to be some rebuilding the team. There could be a new blue half in Manchester that's reigning over things, right, Bart?
Yes, correct.
Okay? All right. They just don't want to talk anything. They just want to see Spurs do badly. So we'll just end it there and move on to game time as we look over to the weekend now. Chelsea will play Man United, right? Win, lose or draw. What do you think will happen, Bart?
I choose win.
You choose win. Chelsea
Chelsea
to win.
win.
Chelsea win.
Yes.
Of course, you want Chelsea to win
I'm
to
going-
give you a chance.
No, I'm going for a draw.
You're going for a draw.
Because I am thinking long terms. I wanted Chelsea to draw a point as well.
Okay, what's your long-term plan then?
And basically, after they draw and then they will lose their remaining 2 games. They
Or
both-
psychologically affected
Yeah.
and all that lah. Hafiz, what do you think? Win, lose or draw?
I predict draw.
Huh?
Draw 1-1.
1-1. Okay, now moving on to your last 3 games. Of course, this weekend you got Stoke. Not very easy to go there and get anything because they play very well at home. Then you also have Villa at home and Fulham away. Now, Van Persie, if you look at some of the things, he has called for the team to have no more excuses next season. But these 3 games is very important. What do you think is going to happen to Arsenal at Stoke?
I think they're gonna go out there and try to win it because the pressure is not that great anymore. Because before this, we got a lot of big pressures trying to catch up Man U, and after losing it, I'm gonna say after we lose the title race, I think the pressure is not gonna be that great as before.
Okay.
So maybe they're just gonna play their own football, and then they will gonna grind out.
Do more what they did with Emirates last weekend.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just play their football. That's
All
it.
right, so we won't ask for predictions as always because we just love our football. But your man to watch, we'll take one each from you and cap it up for today. So, but who do you think will be the man to watch for Arsenal against Stoke this weekend?
I think Ramsey.
You think Ramsey?
Ramsey, yeah.
Because of he scored that
Because,
goal.
yes.
But people say if
Because-
it wasn't for Van Persie doing all the work, he wouldn't have scored the goal. What do you think is your man to watch?
Jack Wilshere.
Jack Wilshere.
Because I think he's the kind of players that build for this kind of physical games.
Okay.
And he's going to get a lot of tackles this weekend as well. But from previous experience, whenever he got all the stakes, and then he's only going to come back stronger. So I think he's going to do something great this weekend.
Okay, Hafiz, what about you? Are you putting your faith on Van Persie, or could Nicholas Bentner Sunday spring a surprise at the end of the season?
I will go to Ramsey for the game Stoke because what the bad moment on the Ramsey at the Britannia for last season. I can say they broken the leg. So how he intend to play for the next game?
Or that will take a lot of mental strength
Yeah,
and
mental
focus,
strength,
right?
yes.
Okay, we'll see what happens, and we'd like to thank once again Bart, Amri, and also Hafiz here with the Arsenal Supporters Club here in Malaysia, or Arsenal-Malaysia. And we'd also like to thank to the Aki Wupi Sports Cafe for having us here. So thank you very much, guys, for being here on Club Chatter, and we'll catch you next time here on Hoohaa Sports.